Hi everyone, GreenPanda here and welcome back to another video. And I just recently found out that my microphone is broken, that if you have it on a high enough volume and I'm not talking, you're going to hear some sort of staticky sound. And the worst part is that I've been doing Twitch for the past couple of months and no one mentioned it, but I don't think they themselves realised, because I didn't realise until now at this moment in time, and I'm just like, I'm going to need a new microphone because this sounds disgusting. So yeah, great start. Anyway, I want to start the video to say that I'm fuming because Hollywood is just and right now superheroes are just so bland. Is anyone sick of superheroes right now? Because I know I am, and since Endgame I think now would have been a great time to take a break, but audiences have been conditioned with a need, like a junkie wanting the next fix. We want new updates or looking for and viewing new stuff, but it's better when it's connected. Your brain sees a puzzle and it instantly wants the answer to it. And yeah, I think everyone's just consuming Marvel, and right now I am so bored. We could have had a cinematic universe to follow on, and because of one man, it doesn't exist because he fucked up. Okay, others online thought, hey, anyone could have played Iron Man, and there was someone else who could have played him, and this proves that no, not anyone could have played Iron Man. While RDJ created the MCU, this man destroyed a universe, something that we were all ready for. Say what you will, but people's reactions to Resident Evil 8 shows there is a demographic out there. During lockdown, so many people were also watching Twilight. I was rewatching Van Helsing, and the funny thing is, talking about the MCU, I realised that Avengers Assemble copied a few things from A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. If Hollywood knew what they were doing, we would be on our 5th installment of this universe that I'm speaking of, and it would have been a glorious Molotov cocktail of League, Van Helsing, Resident Evil, modern versions of iconic monsters. What if Jekyll was in the same room as Victor Frankenstein? Two very bad, stupid doctors who share one brain cell. Imagine modern Dracula or Dorian Gray. But no, we get Hotel Transylvania, all because of one man who could have played Iron Man. Just proves that no, not anyone could have played Iron Man, because this lack of a dark cinematic universe, like, it just proves that this guy couldn't create a universe of his life dependent on it. Which is funny how Warner is clinging, trying to grasp a universe, trying to ride Marvel's coattails and eating the dust. And meanwhile, there's Fast and Furious that didn't even mean to make a franchise. They were just here by accident. And okay, so who am I talking about? I'm talking about Tom Cruise, the man who Thanos snapped a universe that we were ready for. And don't lie, we want hot sexy vampires and werewolves and deranged doctors, etc. We want that shit. We want dark content, complex, morally grey characters, or characters that are just evil, but you just can't help but love and excuse anything they do. I know he's a psychotic murderer and cannibal, but I love him. So here is all the movies we could have had. An introduction to Dracula, Invisible Man, and the like, but no, we get nothing. Not only that, but these characters are a great way to open up about unconventional stuff that the straight and narrow superheroes wouldn't dare touch. Dracula in a poly relationship that is very healthy and very loving. Victor Frankenstein wanted to make a himbo very badly, but fucked up the eyes, and as an artist thinks the whole thing is ruined. Also, if by any chance we make any of the monsters represent the LGBT, no one will be upset because they keep calling this guy Frankenstein. No one has ever been faithful to the OG adaptations for years, so why start now and not make it gay? Although some people in the community could say it, we're calling a group of monsters LGBT is kind of awful, not to mention the whole stereotype, or if you bite someone you get turned, like how some people believe someone had AIDS, you would catch it by looking at them. Oh, and how a werewolf that was a sickly represented man with AIDS in Harry Potter and people headcanoned him as gay. Thank you, Rowling, for your contribution to the LGBT. Not. But the whole main character suddenly is open to a world or community and learn new things and have prejudice that has been debunked, and people think that this character is wrong for liking this community or being a part of this community. It could represent someone being exposed to BDSM and learning to learn new things about it, or how prudes call it wrong, you're evil, you're going to hell, blah blah blah. Or it could be how you hang out with people of the LGBT community and called wrong, you're going to hell, blah blah blah. Vampires or even such things were monsters in the past, but then at one point we changed from being afraid of said monsters to wanting to bang them. So it's no more true as how that movie with the fish came out, and you know that fish movie where the girl was with that fish thing. And then Venom. Journo is the same Venom 2 as Tentacle Porn. I wasn't even thinking of watching the sequel because I felt like here they might have retconned a few things, but after hearing that, I am going to watch it tomorrow. Not lying. Lost Boys is a cult classic, especially the relationship between David and Michael. Buffy, well, Buffy and Angel or Spike and Xander. Heck, Resident Evil 8 came out and believe me, everyone wanted to be the maid working in the castle. Oh no! I'm in a castle full of vampires! Anyway... So it was like a harsh wake-up call, remember, no, this game is a horror survival where you have to not die. It's not a dating game where you pick which monster you want to bang. We could have gotten League with Van Helsing, Resident Evil 8, and it all could have blended together and gotten such a huge storyline and a big, diverse, complete complex universe with all these different characters coming together and making this very good plot. But sometimes I think we may have dodged a bullet. The reason why we love the 90s characters is because they were intended to be LGBT, but also intended to be evil. That was the only way which we could have any type of characters. For example, any role Tim Curry played, Nancy and Kraft, who is a lesbian goddess, and Disney villains that are just campy. Even Lorne from Angel was also a very good LGBT rep, and I love him. But notice how, even though we're pushing for LGBT content, Hollywood is scared to make obviously gay characters that are campy and fabulous and just really cool. Like, wow, you can write gay content well when it's a bad guy, but when it's a good guy and has to have positive rep, you suddenly don't know how to write? Pretty sus. You could see Disney cry going, oh no, we bought so many heroes, but no one wants that anymore. It's such a shame that we have this IP that we don't know how to use. BAM! Blade. Who is a vampire? Since everyone would be open up to monsters with this dark universe, the thing we would jump on is Blade. It's about vampires and it's also pretty relevant with a few people and relevant IP, and also it's Blade. Come on guys, could have got a Blade Deadpool movie. We could have got a movie about Blade and Deadpool. Also, Warner Brothers can also jump in on the action with Constantine. Finally an accurate portrayal of Constantine, but because one man was such a diva, we couldn't have that. It's just superheroes. And now we're getting like more superheroes from DC. And then we're also having Fast and Furious, who's also saying, here, we're doing superheroes too, because, Also, notice the lack of any type of genre. Like, as a kid, we watched cartoons back to back. We had movies that were action heroes, romance, horror, thriller, which is different from horror, science fiction, comedians, like comedies, musicals. Notice how we only have superhero movies and a few stragglers. I used to watch Rise of the Guardians, How to Train Your Dragon, Brave, Tangled, Frozen, and Big Hero 6, and Kung Fu Panda, but now we're lucky to get 2 cartoons a year. And also I realise how bad writing is for movies. Like, you hear a movie or TV series as woke and I just run. You would think, wow, this has LGBT, BLM, feminism, it should be good, but when you remove the woke glitter and crap, you realise it's just normal white hetero trash. I've read EO3 and Tumblr and Webtoon, I've seen better comics and better queer portrayals, and because guess what, they were actually written by queer people, but movies feel like some guy or girl had a vague concept off the left ideals and just wrote something, and whereas people say it's good rep, and if you criticise it, you're homophobic. But lack of criticism is the reason why we have Queer Force, I Am Not Starfire, and that weird Star Trek thing that I refuse to believe exists. And that's what woke stuff looks like. If you're older and seen better rep, you can easily tell something that is good rep or is just basically pandering. I've watched Good Omens, Billy Elliot, etc. Modern movies have these backhanded comments that, like, notice how movies aimed at women always have sexual assault in it because it's realistic and women are always put down by men, but I don't want a reminder of that. Or a TV show aimed at the queer community and it's like, oh yeah, they have AIDS because, duh. And I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter, but the same thing applies with them as well. Like, here's some rep, but the main character gets shoved down for something they can't control. You call it out and then you get called a bad person, and also this stuff has to be in movies because it's realistic. It's like, if I want to see realism, I would turn on the news. Notice when there's movies where the main character is a man, white, cis, etc. involved, he doesn't get shunned or insulted, he doesn't get assaulted by a woman, even though it does happen, because men can't be seen degraded or humiliated in such a way. This isn't the rep I want. I've seen Jessica Jones and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Birds of Prey and physically weep that these god-awful shows are slapped with the feminist tag, even though it is disgustingly sexist. and I hate it. So we have Van Helsing, definitely a movie that I love. Shut up, it's a good movie, okay, don't judge me. It's definitely a queer movie, as in, this lovely protagonist and the first wife of Dracula is what made me gay. I ship Ginger Snaps here with Saucy Brunette, and Dracula and Gabriel kinda had a thing. Brother in arms, huh? Also, Falcon, really cute. Is this why I have a thing for brunettes? Who knows? I love the bride's vampire look, especially when they're turned into vampire monsters. I love how back then they can be pretty and also evil monsters, but now notice how you can't have monsters that look like this. The werewolves are also superior. Good God, they are gorgeous. I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry. Also, Igor is my favorite character. It's like, Master, you have been kind, but he pays me, like every Disney staff member or any CGI effects person who's getting completely roasted by Disney right now. Also the monk, he's just, I miss characters like these and him, because him and Van Helsing had this dynamic, just bounce off each other and bring a fantastic comedy with the movie, and you didn't ship them. Notice how in all movies they could do romance that wasn't romantic at all? Like Little Vampire, I never shipped these two kids. Still don't. In Fast and Furious, Dom and Brian, you never shipped it, and yet writers in Hollywood write all men in pink tinted bromances lenses and wonder why we, the queer community, think they're gay, then get told, no, they're straight, and then we, the queer community, get called gross. Stop gaslighting us and learn how to write, you dumb fucks. Best yet, his relationship with Saucy Brunette was written well. She's no damsel in distress and is a very capable woman and can handle herself. She is the real feminist incarnate. Also, Frankenstein, other than not looking like a himbo, was accurately portrayed as a soft soul who was also very sassy. And the fact that this movie was able to put all of these complex characters together in one movie and have a serious, consistent plot line where they all flowed seamlessly and didn't bounce into each other terribly was very well done. Raimi couldn't even do that in Spider-Man 3 when Venom was introduced. And Disney can't even make live actions, period. So yeah, Van Helsing is looking better and better as the years go by. Also the graphics. Watch Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, then come back to me on that, okay? If you hate the graphics. Believe me, graphics are a bit but they're not as bad. They could have been worse. Okay, so A League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Another favourite of mine. Skinner is my favourite and fantastic character who I latch on to and relate to a lot. He's a very annoying rascal who makes bad quips and gets ignored or feels invisible. That's me! So Avengers Assemble may have taken some concepts from League. Captain Nemo was not understood normal idioms, but his technology is far more advanced than the stuff his colleagues use. Thor may not be understood, doesn't understand Earth idioms, but his home is far more advanced than Earth. Old man who retired, who's part of the patriarchy and serves, you know, this government, or is sick of war, is then dragged back into the conflict. Or old man who dies and passes his legacy on to the young plucky kid who's adorable. CGI Monster has a thing for the ginger person. Hot Ginger, who was seen as weak, is a total badass. Guy who is part of the team turns evil and uses their knowledge against them. Or hot guy insults Ginger then gets bested by Ginger. Or also hot guy thinks he's won then has a humiliating defeat. The man who recruited them all in the first place betrays their trust. Also, team doesn't get along at all, but once they have a common enemy, they work together seamlessly. Also, the guy who makes jokes and quips that everyone wants to punch. So there's some similarities, but I don't know if Hollywood has their own rules when it comes to storytelling, as in, you need a leader, the talking woman, quippy jokey character, the nerd, CGI monster. Even DC with their Suicide Squad go the same route, and usually the CGI monster is stupid. So yeah, I'm so tired of superhero movies and wanted some monsters, especially gay monsters. Also, Resident Evil was a smidge disappointed, only because it was so short. It was very short. I think Resident Evil 7 did better when it came to like the layout of the rooms, the house, exploring, and the bosses were more memorable, but in Resident Evil 8, I didn't really care. After Lady Dimitru and her daughters after that, most of the monsters were a bit blech. But what saved the game was not just the plot twist, what saved the game was the ending. Spoilers for Resident Evil 8, the concept and execution. In horror movies, you got your vampire, werewolf, hot water man who uses weapons against you, Loch Ness monster, possessed creepy dolls. But you know what was missing? Zombies. Not only is the game where you, well, Nathan, was the zombie, he fit in well with these guys. It was great how you killed versions of zombies from Umbrella, but you actually being one, and you weren't human yourself. Like, that was That was a unique twist on horror, and that is what I wanted. Okay, so how far could you push the monster horror genre, making it a comedy, romance, etc., or even mindfucks, such as this? So I'm just going to settle with making my own characters. As you can see here, most of them are monsters. I plan on making short stories about them. The only people who can do these stories well is mostly manga. Any story with vampires in it or anything is just done so well. Sure, you have Vampire Night, but you can't compare it to Rosario Vampire or Karen, or all three of these different with how they tackle vampires. Meanwhile, you have Twilight and Queen of the Damned, that feels very samey, or Blade and Lost Boys, which kind of feels similar too. Anyway, is it just me, or am I wrong? Am I just being a thirsty bitch on me? And so, Hollywood, we need monsters right now, okay? I want something dark, decrepit, I want goth, I want angst, I want really hardcore angsty shit right now. I want sexy vampires and very well done werewolves, and I just want some monster stories that's like really hot and romantic and everything, and I don't know, I just really need it. So let me know in the comments, do you guys agree with me? Is it time for monsters and time to put away the superheroes? Is it time to go into depth about complexities of grey to dark characters, about why they are the way they are? And that the mobs in Van Helsing are akin to cancel culture? If so, let me know. Meanwhile, I'm going to be writing about vampires in a castle and almost gets assassinated by a hunter, and the two fall madly in love with each other, you know, as you do. And the kicker, they're both women. Nice. See you in the next video. Oh, also, I'm back on Twitch, so I'll be talking live as I'm drawing, so if you want to join me and draw with me, or maybe draw along, or you just want to chat, I usually talk about fandoms such as Voltron, current stuff, and even, heck yeah, monsters, and the stories I might write that I'll probably never get around to because I'm lazy. So I'll be on Twitch Monday to Wednesday. Okay, bye. Take care, and see you guys in the next video. Bye!